Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are really heading off the map into the deep isolation of the Alaskan bush.
Yeah, we're looking at the Allbright family, Leni, her mom, Cora, and her dad, Ernt, a Vietnam vet.
And their attempt to homestead in this tiny remote place called Kanak. It's intense. A story of survival, but also a lot of trauma.
Definitely. We've been digging into these narratives about them and what happens when you put a family already kind of fractured into this incredibly harsh environment.
Right, the great alone, as they call it.
Exactly. Our goal here is to unpack, what that kind of life really costs, mentally, physically.
How extreme isolation can either maybe forge incredible bonds or just expose all the cracks.
Or make the cracks even wider, which is sort of what we see here.
Okay, so let's start with the family itself. Before Alaska, there's this sense of instability already there, right? Stemming from the war.
Oh, absolutely. Leni has these faint memories, this idea of before the war time. Her dad was a mechanic, seemed happy. Her mom, Cora, dancing.
Janis Joplin, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. But that's gone. The Ernt they live with now is different.
Moody, quick-tempered. Leni says he's a little scary sometimes.
And haunted. He was a door gunner, a POW in Vietnam, came back with severe burn scars all over his arm. Leni talks about hearing him cry out at night. The trauma is right there on the surface.
And Cora's dealing with it by hoping.
Yeah.
Holding on to this idea that the man she married is still in there somewhere.
It's this constant effort to soothe him. Shh, now, Ernt, it's over now, you're home safe. But it's not really working.
So Alaska becomes the plan. The big fix.
It's her solution, yeah. Get him away from everything. Maybe the real Ernt will come back. It's a huge gamble based on, frankly, a bit of a delusion.
So they head north. They take the ferry, the Tusty, up the coast. Homer Spit is their last taste of, normal civilization.
And then Kanek.
Which immediately sounds ominous. It's not even a proper town.
No, it's described as this ramshackle collection of buildings, basically perched on pilings over mudflats. Leni feels this spike of panic almost instantly. She's always scanning for danger, and this place screams it.
And there's that detail about the saloon.
Oh, yeah. The Kicking Moose Saloon, or what's left of it, it's just this charred, blackened ruin right there as they arrive. Talk about a welcome sign.
A warning they totally miss or ignore.
Completely. Then they get to the homestead itself, and this is where you really see the split in perception.
Ernt loves it, throws his arms open, embraces the nothingness, the vast emptiness. For him, it's freedom.
But Cora and Leni, they just see trees, mud, a cliff, and this cabin.
Not exactly cozy.
No, dilapidated, studded with animal skulls. Leni thinks it looks like where some old, toothless hermit would live. They are so unprepared. It's pure Alaska or bust fantasy.
Which is ironic because the reality of surviving up there seems to be the complete opposite of Ernt's isolationist dream.
Totally. You can't just be alone. Survival is communal. And that becomes clear, immediately.
They have no idea what they're doing.
None. But the community, the few other people in Kanek, they step right in. It sort of proves Ernt wrong from day one.
You get these amazing characters showing up. Large Marge.
Former lawyer, runs the general store now. Tough lady.
Natalie, who mills her own wood, alone, with a chainsaw.
Right. And Geneva Walker, Jenny. She becomes really important, especially for Leni.
These are the people who actually know how to live there. And they have to teach the Allbrights everything.
The absolute basics. Geneva tells them, you need a greenhouse, you need a cache. That little storage hut on stilts or bears will take all your food. This isn't optional. It's life or death knowledge.
And the work is just brutal, constant.
Oh, yeah. 5 days feels like forever because the sun barely sets in summer. Hauling water, chopping wood endlessly, catching and smoking fish, tanning hides.
Making soap even. And it's all barter. Money doesn't mean much.
Exactly. So you'd think Ernt would see this, right? See that survival depends on working together.
But he doesn't. He digs in deeper in the other direction.
He finds his community, but it's not the helpful neighbors. It's Matterl.
The prepper guy.
Yeah. Believes war is coming, government collapse, the whole white man is losing out thing, this isolationist, paranoid ideology.
And you can see how that would appeal to Ernt, given his PTSD.
Right. His feeling of being unsafe, of the world being dangerous. Mad Earl's ideas kind of validate that. He tells Ernt his paranoia is justified, that the danger is real.
And Alaska's isolation just feeds into that loop.
It really does. He gets sucked into this prepper compound with the Harlans, starts stockpiling guns, gas masks, preparing for this imagined war.
And then he brings that fear, that intensity home. to Leni.
Those training sessions sound terrifying. Forcing her into dark rooms, blindfolded, making her learn to clean a rifle by feel.
Telling her, you need to know how to do this or you could be killed. It's like he's preparing her for Armageddon instead of just being a dad.
His internal fear becomes an external threat to her.
Yeah.
And that internal stuff starts clashing with the outside world too, specifically with the Walkers.
Tom Walker, Matthew's dad. He represents everything Ernt isn't, right? Successful, respected, helpful.
Yeah, and Ernt just can't stand it. It highlights his own feelings of failure. Mad Earl stirs that pot too, calling Tom King John offering to help his poor serfs.
Framing kindness as condescension.
Exactly. And this resentment explodes over the issue of progress, basically. Tom wants to turn an old building into a tourist lodge.
The Walker Cove Adventure Lodge.
Right. And Ernt sees this as ruining this town, bringing in the outside world he tried to escape.
So he takes it out on Tom's property. The saloon again.
Yeah, the kicking moose. He smashes it up, spray paints this awful message. This is a warning. Stay away, arrogant prick. No progress. It's pure rage and territoriality.
Meanwhile, Alaska itself just keeps being Alaska.
Yeah.
Brutal. Indifferent.
The dark winter sets in. Less than 6 hours of daylight. The radio is full of warnings, engine failures, people dying from small mistakes. The margin for error is 0.
And then the most heartbreaking proof of that.
Yeah.
Geneva Walker.
Ugh, yeah. She knew this place inside out, a true survivor, taught Leni so much.
And she just falls through the ice. Gone.
It's devastating. And it really hits Leni. If Geneva isn't safe, nobody is. The land doesn't care how experienced you are.
But amid all this darkness, there's Leni and Matthew Walker.
Her one source of light, really. They become real friends, and they connect over shared trauma, actually. Matthew reveals he saw his own mother's body under the ice once.
Wow. So they understand each other on this really deep level.
Yeah. Their relationship grows in secret, obviously, because Ernt hates the Walkers. Leni feels this love for him that's just elemental, as powerful as the tide, she says.
Which inevitably leads to the final crisis. Ernt finds out Leni is pregnant with Matthew's child.
And he just snaps. Completely loses it. Fueled by booze, paranoia, the sources describe him attacking Leni violently.
Badly. Fracture my cheek and break my nose.
It's brutal. And that's the point where Cora's hope, her delusion about the man she married, just shattered.
She sees him for what he's become, a mortal danger to her daughter.
And she makes a choice. She chooses Leni. She takes the rifle, the same rifle Ernt made Leni practice with. Oh, the irony.
And she shoots him. Twice. In the back. Kills him.
Wow. And then what? The cover-up.
Is horrifying. They have to dispose of the body. They sink him in a remote bay, using animal traps, the very tools of the survival he preached, to weigh him down.
And there's that moment Cora asks Leni what this makes them.
And Leni says, survivors. It's just a chilling redefinition of the word. Survival required killing the survivor.
But the cost keeps mounting. They escape into a storm thinking it's over.
Only to find out later that Matthew, trying to reach Leni, fell from a cliff in that same storm, suffered severe brain damage.
Oh my God. So escaping one tragedy leads directly to another.
It's just relentless.
Yeah.
Leni ends up hiding in Seattle for years, raising her son, MJ,
Yeah.
who looks just like Matthew.
But she can't stay away forever.
No. She knows she has to go back
Yeah.
to connect, face what happened.
And this is where the community comes back in a really powerful way.
It really is. She confesses to the local chief of police, Ward, and he tells her things have changed. The law understands battered women better now. It's not just legal. It feels like the community knew.
They absolutely knew. That's clear at the arraignment. Large Marge shows up, the former lawyer, remember?
Right.
And she basically shuts it down, says she'll bring witness after witness, starting with Tom Walker himself, to testify about Ernst's abuse. The whole town essentially says, we know what he was. We stand with Leni.
It's the community saving her, the very thing Ernt rejected.
The complete opposite of his worldview. Leni goes back to the homestead one last time, sees the ruins, the collapsed smokehouse, the wall, remnants of that life.
Does she reconnect with Matthew?
She does. And Tom Walker. Matthew's cognitive damage is severe, but there's a flicker of recognition. He learns he has a son. It's bittersweet, profoundly so.
So in the end, Leni comes to understand Alaska itself differently.
Yeah, she sees it for what it is. Beauty and horror, savior and destroyer. It forces you to discover what you're capable of, what you'll do to survive.
And her survival wasn't about isolation, like her father thought. It was about making impossible choices, and ultimately about connection.
Exactly, which ties back to what Cora said, even after killing her, about love.
What was that again?
She tells Leni, love doesn't fade or die, baby girl. A faded version. But he's part of you now. and you are part of him. It's this acknowledgement that trauma shapes you, becomes part of your story, even if you escape the source. You carry it.
Wow. So Leni learns that survival in the great alone isn't really about the wilderness skills. It's about defining home for yourself, deciding who belongs there.
Yeah.
Which leaves us with a question, I think, for you listening.
Yeah.
If you're faced with that choice, the danger you know within your family, the trauma you live with, versus the completely unknown dangers of striking out alone, maybe into the wild, where do you draw that line? When does loyalty become something you have to escape?
That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Connect. We'll catch you next time.